Good morning, everyone. Just as a reminder to start off, we will not have this next week. I will be in Texas at THRIVEPALOOZA. So feel free if you're not going and you want to catch a replay, just go to my YouTube channel. I believe it's my full name, Megan Holcomb. And there's tons of different ones that you can go through on those and just repurpose. But we're going to kick off by doing some ways that you can get better content results. So kind of what are your goals, objectives, and then how it is that you can show up with your content to get better results, which is what we're all wanting. And then we're going to go a day by day, planning the week. I'm going to give ideas for while you're at THRIVEPALOOZA or leading up to that, as well as if you're not attending, these are some ideas that you can utilize as well. So first and foremost, better content results. So if you're looking to achieve the following, these are the things to implement. So the first one is your followers actually purchasing your products, which is what we all want, right? We want that conversion from somebody that's following our account to where they're actually going to start purchasing what we have to offer. And this is very simple. It's one line. First, you got to speak to people as you, not you or you guys, friends, whatever, besties. I see that a lot on TikTok and it drives me nuts. I don't know why, but make sure that you're speaking like you're speaking directly to one person, and we're selling the solution, not the offer. I know so often it is important that we obviously highlight when we do have like specific sales and stuff like that. But I think that is what people often lead with, is just the offer or the thing that we have to sell, instead of what is the solution that it is like the problem that it is solving. So instead of being like, here's my 3 steps, capsules, lifestyle mix, and a patch that give you all day energy. Like that's, yes, it does do that, but how can you narrow that down even more so that you're identifying a specific problem that your target person has? So if it's a mom, do they struggle with getting up before their kids do? If there's somebody that is, I don't know, a working person, they hit the snooze too many times, like what is the specific problem? If it's you're in a fitness page and you're trying to help people with like better recipes and like working out, what is a common problem that people have? Like appetite control? Is it that they're struggling, who struggles with snacking all the time? That is the problem. Provide the solution. So make sure that when you're talking about the 3 steps, that you are identifying a specific problem. Now, you can identify multiple problems throughout the week, but as much as what I try to do is identify a specific one problem per day, so that it's not like overwhelming people. Because what I often see is people just talking in their stories and it ends up being like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slides. And then you're just losing the interest of people. If you can make it quick, one-hit liners, that is even better. So I think I'll give you a couple more specific examples. So when you have an 8-hour shift and you still have to take your kids to practice, and then that's when you show your patch. If you're talking about your kids, there must be a full moon because they're all acting a fool. So that's why you need mood support today, and you as a mom need this too. Like whatever specific problem, you can help narrow it down. And again, you can address multiple problems throughout the week, but on specific days, try to just talk about one thing and how this is the solution. If you want to achieve engaged followers, so people that are actually engaging with your content, which is the goal, because the more engagement that you have on a post, the more that the algorithm is going to push that out to other people, because what it's showing is, oh, people are responding well to this. Let's show it to more people. So in case they want to see it too, is basically the thought process behind that. So create shareable, savable content is the number one thing. So if you can create things that other people are going to share, they're obviously going to engage with that by sharing it or saving it. So if you're on Instagram, there's that save feature. So maybe it's like tips, ideas, specific quotes, like stuff that people can send out to others is one of the best things that you can do to bring more engagement to your page. So often I think we post like just pictures of ourselves with like quotes or whatever. And like, that's all good and fine, because I feel like that helps create like community, like they understand you more and makes you relatable. But you also need to make sure that you're mixing in things that are going to be able to be sent out to multiple people, because not only will that bring new people to your page, but it obviously creates more engagement for you as well. So creating shareable, savable content using call to actions. So call to actions might be like telling them exactly how to engage with your content. Maybe it's saying, so I just created a post on Instagram that was like ways to be active as a busy mom or whatever. And then for my caption, I always like think comment and caption and mess the two up. For the caption, I put share your favorite way to stay active as a mom. And then that way I'm going to get more people that are commenting on it. So you can also say like, double tap this if you relate, or save this for a time that you're busy and you need a quick meal, or save this for your next workout, or save these book ideas for your next, I don't know, next time you purchase a book, like whatever that might be, using some sort of call to action that is going to tell them exactly what you want them to do with your content. Tag a friend that needs to hear this. Tag another mom, tag another person in recovery, tag somebody else that loves keto, like whatever your specific thing is, like telling people exactly what to do with your content. And then engageable stories. What I mean by engageable stories, like, yes, it's good that we are showing our life and that we're giving them the kind of behind the scenes so that they can relate to us much more. But I think on top of that, you need to have stuff that they're going to engage with. So maybe that is, do you tell a funny story and then you do a poll afterwards and you're like, who else relates to this? Like, yes, ma'am. No, I've never had that happen. Like whatever your specific thing is, you can do poll series that relate to the things that you talk about on your page. You can do, they have sliders. You can do like a Q&A. You can do anything that's going to cause them to engage with your stories. So as much as you can, try to do this at least once a week, if not twice a week, so that you're bumping your stories up and then you're having more engaged followers. Because if they're engaging with your stories, that is telling I like to give like the reason why this makes sense. Because if they're engaging with your stories, the algorithm's like, oh, they like each other. Let's show them each other's content more. So that's the whole thought process behind that. All right. If you want to achieve new followers, don't we all? We're in network marketing. Obviously, we want to network with more people. You can't just speak to the same crowd. I always talk about how it's like if Target were only to let the same 20 people into the store, do you think that they have like record breaking sales? No, absolutely not. Because eventually those people would have what they needed and then their frequency would die down. So our goal is obviously to get new followers. So the first tip is know who your ideal follower is. Who is the specific person that you are trying to reach? Anytime I'm helping somebody create what their bio is going to say, I ask, who is the person that you're trying to reach? Like, how old are they? Like, what is the age range? What is something very specific about them that you want to help them with? So is it that you are trying to reach other moms that are in their 30s? Are you trying to reach boy moms? Are you trying to reach other people that have dealt with abuse in their life? Are you trying to women specifically? Like, make sure you're really not trying to make this huge, broad group of people, because the more that you can narrow down, the more that your content is going to be relatable to people, and then they'll hit the follow button. I think if you're trying to speak to everybody, you're speaking to nobody essentially, because you're not hitting the mark. So knowing your ideal follower, speaking to their needs. So the best way to do this is to just create a brainstorm session. If you haven't done this, I know I talked about it briefly last week. Create a brainstorm session, like 5 minutes, and just say, what would a busy mom that needs quick recipes, what are their problems? And just list all the problems that they would have so that you can understand what their needs are. So is it that they don't have time to cook a long meal, or they need short meal ideas because they're running to a bunch of places, or if like mine specific, I did this actually a couple weeks ago. My specific person is Christian moms wanting to get into fitness or wanting to take care of themselves. So my list was like, what are the problems that a mom has to be active and fit? They don't have time. They don't know how to make recipes that their kids are going to eat and they're going to eat. They don't know where to start. They don't have time to go to the gym. They don't know what to do. They don't have the funds to actually have a gym membership. So like whatever it might be, just taking that time for like 5 to 10 minutes and just brainstorming what are all the problems that my ideal person is going to deal with. So then the next one is provide value. So you have the list of what their needs are, and then you provide value around those needs. So giving them ideas, tips, resources, things like that. That's how you gain new followers, because they're coming to your page, whether that is from somebody else sharing a post that you created or reels or something like that. When they like your reel, what's going to happen? They're most likely going to go to your page and look at your bio, look at what you have and say, do I want to continue? Do I actually want to follow this person? That's what they ask themselves. That's what I ask myself. If I see like a reel or a TikTok of somebody that, like, for instance, I follow a lot of fitness people. If I see their like viral fitness reel or TikTok that they've made, and I go to their page and it's just like all pictures of them, I'm like, where? Like, I kind of want ideas. Like, what do you eat? What do you do for workouts? Blah, blah, blah. So like that is something that you really need to understand is like, does my content look in a way that will cause people to follow me back? So then the next thing, if you want to achieve higher story views, treat your stories like a vlog. Take them through your day. Talk about random things that you come across. Show them what you're making for dinner. Funny things that your kids say, your workout, your what you're currently reading. Like, just treat it like it's a mini vlog of your day, and then show up more often. So often I see people that will just like share their 3 steps and then like a quote that they found. And I'm like, okay, but you're not allowing people to really understand who you even are. And if you're thinking to yourself, like, well, my life isn't that interesting, because I know that this is what people think. My life's not that interesting. So like, how do I share about it? The people that are following you don't have these glamorous lifestyles either. They will follow you because they can relate to your life, that you have kids that talk back to you, or that they say funny things, or that you you got these cool like thrift finds at this one place, or you know, whatever your specific thing is. Like, your life doesn't have to be like this perfect thing where you're making, like, I always think of, like, I try to think of what are the Instagram, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Influencers or whatever, like how their lives look like so perfect. They're like, oh, look at this plant I have in my house, and today we're going to the beach, and da 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 da. Like, the typical person, that's not their life. They're looking for somebody that's relatable to them, that their life kind of looks the same, and maybe they can get some ideas from. So show up more often, talk in your stories, just show what you're doing throughout the day. The range usually of stories you want to have on a daily basis is anywhere, I say 8 to 12 slides if you can. So and then the next one. So if you're looking to achieve more content creation, come on this Zoom. Just kidding. But create content pillars with brainstorming, like I discussed earlier. So taking that time, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's every other week. and just brainstorming content ideas. Repurpose old ideas or ideas from other pages that are similar to yours that you follow. You can take their ideas and like spin it in your direction, and it doesn't even have to be the same niche. You can see like, this is how they're setting up their page kind of. How can I recreate that to be my own thing? And then batching your posts. So I think what I'm actually going to do when we come back together on the 19th, I think, oh, I'm on March. Just kidding. I need to change my calendar. 16th, when we come back together on Saturday, the 16th, I think I'm going to do the first portion is just going to be like almost like a work with me, but we're going to batch ideas together. So we're going to do I'm going to walk you through a brainstorming session. I'm going to walk you through kind of creating these pillars, and then we'll go into planning the week after that, but batching out your work and then also giving you ideas for like pictures and stuff like that too. So I'm going to go through it one more time, and then we'll go into planning our week. So to achieve followers purchasing, sell the solution, not just the offer you have. To achieve engaged followers, create shareable, savable content, use call to actions, and tell your people how they can engage with your stuff. Have engageable stories as well. To achieve new followers, know who your ideal follower is, speak to their needs, and then provide value. To achieve higher story views, treat your stories like you're doing a vlog and show up more often. And then to achieve more content creation, have content pillars with brainstorming, repurpose old ideas of your own or other people's ideas, and then batch your work. So planning the week. So I'm going to give you an idea for THRIVEPALOOZA, and then I will give an idea for those that are not attending, because we do not discriminate here. I try to give as much relatable content as I can to the masses. So like whether you're earning a bunch of income, you're not earning a bunch of income, you're going to these events, you're not, I want to try to like cover all the bases. So Monday for Facebook, we are going to share a problem that Thrive solved. So again, with if you're wanting to sell to people, you need to address what is the issue that they're having. And I said, just one problem. So talk about just one thing that you used to struggle with before Thrive and how that solved it. You can do this in a live video. You can do this in a picture of yourself. You can do this in a before and after. You can do this multiple different ways. Instagram, we're going to do a reel on Monday. This is a little out of the norm, but if you don't have any on deck, spend a little time today to just create a couple. I created a reel last Sunday after our Zoom in like 2 seconds. I scrolled for a minute. I saw a soundbite that I liked, and then I repurposed it to my own. So it took me literally a minute. And then for that reel, we're going to do 3 things or ways. So 3 things that you wish you knew before, 3 ways to overcome a specific problem. We're teaching with this. Stories, talk about your capsules. Again, address the one problem and then how the capsules are the solution. Tuesday, Facebook, we're going to talk about a fear that you used to have around the business. This can either be prior to joining. So like maybe you were in a different company and you were fearful of transitioning, or you've never done this thing before. So you were fearful that it was going to be like this overwhelming thing that you wouldn't know how to do. A fear that or maybe it's now that like a fear that you would never, meet other people that are like you, and then talk about how the people you've met. The reason why it's so important to address fears, and if you can on a frequent basis, like maybe every other week or once a week, is because the people that are watching you that are possibly thinking about joining your business, whether that's as a customer or the business, Tuesday specifically, I think for the business, is that there is something that is holding them back. And if you can talk about fears you're kind of addressing that issue that they're having, or that objection that they're throwing up in their own mind, and providing the solution and putting them at ease. So I think that is some, like, a lot of people think that if you talk about like the fears that you've had, that it's going to bring like stigma to the industry or to the business. And I think the opposite. I think it's important that you do address like, what is the stigma that a lot of people think, and then what is the reality or what you discovered after joining, because that just helps people through the, what I call like the sale process. So from somebody that's just watching to potentially interested to actually in your inbox, either purchasing or joining your team. Instagram, we're going to do a carousel. A carousel, if you're new, is a batch of slides. You can go to my Instagram, Meg_Holcomb, and I just did one this morning, so you can see what that looks like. And then favorite resources. So again, we're going to teach people what our favorite resources are. So for your specific thing, maybe it's, these are the apps I use. Maybe it's, this is the book I use. This is something that I've done on a daily basis. And this is a person, like whatever your favorite resources are. Stories, we're going to talk about payday. I will say this until the cow comes home. If you're not getting a paycheck yet, you still have to talk about payday. And that doesn't mean that you're lying, because I think that like fake it till you make it is a horrible idea, because it erodes your confidence. Payday, you can talk about what goals you're looking to achieve. You can talk about the fact that in this business, we get paid weekly, even if you're not quite earning a paycheck yet, because the other people are. Just because you're not yet doesn't mean that you hold that back from somebody that's on your followers list, that maybe they would jump in this business and absolutely run with it. So you got to make sure that you're talking about those things. So whether you're talking about the ability to earn income within your first 2 weeks, you can talk about free product. You can talk about how there's weekly pay. You can talk about how you don't even have to pay for your business. Like, we have no startup fees, no monthly fees, no annual fees, or anything like that. Wednesday, go live. If you haven't done so in a while, get over your fears, get over yourself, or do an engagement post. So an engagement post might look like something that's relatable to what you talk about on your page that other people can engage with. And I don't mean like this or that. Pick a hot dog or a hamburger. Maybe it's asking what people get Easter baskets for their kids, like whatever. Instagram reel, again on Wednesday. We are going to do teach or inspire. So you can do an inspiring quote. You can tell about your own personal story. That's actually me telling my own personal story was one of the ways that I gained like 3,000, not even 3,000, probably like 2,000 followers once, is just by sharing my story, because people related. And this can be, you do a sound and then you kind of like tell your story. You can do like a slideshow of different pictures of what you looked like before and what you look like now. You can do, I don't know, just there's multiple ways that you can do that. Stories. Oh no, I didn't finish writing it. If you're going to THRIVEPALOOZA, in your stories, I want you to talk about how you pack up your product and how easy it is to pack it, because you don't have to bring this giant canister with you. You can bring like little things of capsules and the shakes separately, and your patches and stuff like that, and how easy it is to make sure that you're fueling your body while you're on vacation or while you're traveling. As far as if you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, in your stories, you can talk about how one of the 3 steps and why it is your favorite. So you can, I didn't write it down, so sorry. I'm just kind of like ad-libbing. Maybe it's the way that you make your shake in the morning. Maybe it's talking about how like this is different than anything else you've tried, because you've tried a bunch of things. Maybe it's you talk about how it's done super fast in the beginning part of your day because you live a busy lifestyle and you love that it's done in 30 minutes. Like, you can say, who has time or who can remember to take 8,000 things throughout the day? I certainly cannot. So that's what you can do if you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA. Thursday, Facebook. If you're going to THRIVEPALOOZA, we're going to talk about community. So maybe it's your travel partners, who you're traveling with, who you're rooming with. You can go live. You can just take a picture of the two of you and talk about it. If you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, talk about a friend that you've met through the business. So whether that's like you've never actually met in person, but you feel like you've known this person forever. Maybe it's just that you like that you can come together with other people multiple times a week because you're a stay-at-home mom that doesn't get adult interaction typically. So whatever that specific thing is, we're going to address community on Facebook. Instagram, we're going to do travel essentials. So you can do this in a reel. You can do this in a carousel. Or if you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, you can do for your photo plus a story to connect with other people. In stories, THRIVEPALOOZA, the hotel that you're staying at or the house or like wherever you're staying, talk about, because first of all, if you're staying at the Gaylord, holy cats. I looked it up the other day because I'm not the one that booked our rooms. I looked it up the other day and I was like, this is like a legit resort. There's like a lake and like, I don't know, waterfalls there and stuff. Like it's insane. So please show that because that's super cool. You can show your flight, getting on your flight, yada, yada. If you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, in your stories, talk about what is your nighttime routine. Maybe that's you take rest, you take balance. If you don't have any nightly products, you can talk about how you are able to actually stay up later than you used to, or that you don't feel like you're super tired at the end of the day, and talk about your patch, just to give you a couple ideas. Friday, how easy it is on Facebook, how easy it is to travel with Thrive, or Flex Friday, or we have some awesome events that are going on Friday, like show some of that, like take a picture with a bunch of your friends at the black and white party. I would not talk necessarily about like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, I would try to highlight community as much as you can, as opposed to just the company, because you're selling yourself. And the reason they buy you before they buy the company. Nobody cares that you're actually going to conference. What would they care about? I know that sounds like super, I don't know, mean or whatever, but to be honest, nobody cares that you're going to a conference. What they care about is like that you have actually have the ability to travel when you never thought that was possible. People think about that stuff. People relate to like having community and actually being able to like meet with people and have like-minded people and stuff like that. Education, like people care about being educated and learning about things. And like Brock Johnson, and I'm going to talk about that on Instagram, but he's huge on Instagram, like huge. So I'm so jazzed for him, by the way. I've been following him for a really long time and I'm really excited to hear him live. I'm sure I've heard like probably everything that he's going to talk about, but like that you're learning that things like that, like nobody cares that you are going to the gear store. I'm sorry, but you got to think the people on the other side, they don't thrive. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand those things. Like you can show like we're having fun together. We're doing all these things together, community together, traveling together, doing fun things. Like that's the stuff that you should show, not just like, I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just trying to help. Facebook, if you're not on going to THRIVEPALOOZA, Flex Friday. Instagram, reel. If you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, you can do an inspiring reel. If you are going to THRIVEPALOOZA, do a cool transition before you get on the plane and then transition to when you're actually there. So this can be like you and your friends are on the plane and then you transition to you guys are all at the party, like whatever it is, some sort of transition to like a cool one, because I feel like that stuff always brings more views, because as much as you can make it seamless, because I don't know, it's just eye appealing. Stories, you and your friends thriving together. So like taking your thrive together in the morning. Like maybe it's a picture of all your patches together, and then you can, here's an idea. You can take a picture of like your patches together, and then you can just put a little blurb by each patch that's relatable to that specific person. Like helped her lose weight, helped her with her aches and pains, helped her with da 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 da. Because then maybe you'll be able to address a bunch of people that have those things. If you are not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, show that you're taking your capsules and take some other thrivers and then share their content onto yours too. So it shows that multiple people thrive, not just yourself. Saturday, Facebook, we're going to do a lifestyle post. So this can be, if you're not going to THRIVEPALOOZA, you showing how you're able to work your business wherever, whenever. I think it's important to highlight this because people think, well, my life is so busy, I don't know how I would fit it in. Or if you were like me before I joined, I was actually thinking about going to a place to work a part-time job on top of a full-time job because we couldn't make ends meet. When you're at THRIVEPALOOZA, you can talk about how you're learning in a different state or how you can run your business even when you're traveling or whatever that looks like. Instagram, I mean, I have another reel. I have a lot of reels this week. So you don't necessarily have to. You can do a picture of yourself. You can certainly do a reel, the more the better. How would you share the live stream? I would not. On your page, the live stream of THRIVEPALOOZA, I wouldn't. Nobody's going to care. That's the thing. Like they care about what is my specific problem and how are you going to help me with my specific problem, if that makes sense. They're not going to care that your CEO is talking. They really don't. I promise they don't, because I have been on the opposite side. Like I love our CEOs. We have the best CEOs. We have the best president with Drew. Like they put together the best things. Like our company is amazing, right? But the person that's on the other side of your feed, you got to think of like what is actually going to cause them to want to join. Do you think it's because your CEOs are standing on stage that they're going to want to join your business? Probably not. The only way that's maybe going to be relevant is if they're in a business currently that they're unhappy with, and that's a very, very small group of people. The majority of your people either have never done this business or have tried to do this business and have failed, or something along those lines. So what we're trying to do is appeal to that person. And the way to do that is to address like that they've never traveled before, or they don't think it's possible for themselves, that they don't have a lot of friends in their community that they can relate to, that they're stuck at home all the time and don't get to have a lot of fun. So the more that you can highlight those things, as opposed to like, here's our new product and all the benefits that they're releasing, like, woo, so exciting. Like, yeah, there's a different way that you can talk about that is going to be relatable to people, because yes, we absolutely should be excited about the new products that we have, or the next vacation that's happening or something like that. But you sharing like a live stream or just like a picture of the stage with your CEOs talking, like they're here for you because they're following you because they like you. They're not following you because you have amazing CEOs at the company that you work for. You know what I mean? So thinking of ways that you can bring them in along your journey with and make them feel like included, or like that what you have is something that they would want to do. So where was I? Instagram. Oh, you can do a reel if you want, but you can also do like a picture of yourself and kind of like connect with people that way. You can entertain them with something funny. You can do a quote that is shareable, because again, one of our goals is to create more engagement. So you can create a post with a quote that's shareable, that sort of thing. Stories, thriving at the end of the day and what it helped you with. So maybe it's like, for those of us that are going to THRIVEPALOOZA, like you've done all these things all day, and how you're still going because you have energy that is slow release throughout the day. Or you can talk about how like before I used to drink a bunch of coffee in the morning and it would wear off by 2 p.m. But now that you have this patch that delivers energy all day, you can actually play with your kids at the end of the day. You don't feel like you're going to fall asleep on the couch. You can get all the things you need to get done on a Saturday. So I hope that was helpful. Do you have questions? Does anyone have questions? I feel like nobody has questions ever. Shannon had a question. I appreciate it. I hope that makes sense to you guys and I wasn't being like too harsh, or like, I know we love our company and stuff like that and we want to share that, but here's the thing. People buy you before they buy the company all day, every day. They buy the products because you share a similar experience that they've had. So they connect with that. They join the business because they either can see how your life has transformed. So like you went from somebody that never traveled, never had extra money, and they can relate to that because maybe they can't do those things. Or let's be honest, like things are expensive nowadays. So having income to bridge that gap is huge. So the more that they're here to buy your experience, to be a part of that, not because of the CEO or the name or the fact that we have amazing graphics or whatever, you know what I mean? So the more that you can show how it's relatable to them, the better. So, well, I will report. Blah, blah. Oh, yes, because I feel like I don't want to misguide you guys or lead you in the wrong direction. And I feel like honesty is always my best policy. If you can be honest about things, people can smell fake a mile away. They can smell false intentions a mile away. The more that you can be authentic and truthful with people, not only will they relate and appreciate that, but it also boosts your confidence. Because if you're constantly lying to people or pretending like your life is a certain way when it's not, that erodes your confidence. So, and people can sense that. Facebook, it's a lifestyle post. So you can do like you're working your business. You're welcome. You can do like you're working your business from home. What does your office setup look like? Maybe it's you're drafting up your goals for the new month. It can be that like you're out with your kids or whatever, like just showing like how this business fits into your lifestyle. But back to what I was saying, the more that you can be like, if you're constantly lying to people, they're going to feel that. I'm sorry, but like you can only hold a facade for so long before it either erodes your own personal self-esteem or people can start to see behind the fakeness because maybe they like run into you or like you just keep regurgitating the same things over and over and over again. So the more that you can be relatable and real and tell the truth and be authentic and all those things, the better. The better it's going to be for you when you bring somebody onto this business. So if they join, like they don't have like all these pipe dreams that are unrealistic. Like I'm going to make $1 million in 2 months. No, sister, you are not probably. Like we all want that. Like if you can, like good on you. That's amazing. But we don't want to paint an unrealistic picture. So then when somebody actually does want to join the business and they don't achieve that unrealistic picture, they check out. And then you're constantly just on this wheel of needing to bring in new people all the time. I think that, yes, we want to constantly bring in new people. Obviously, that's how you grow your business. But you want to bring in new people on top of the other people that are still working, because that's how you grow. If you're constantly just having to replace those spots because you weren't truthful or you were lying or you were, painting a picture that wasn't realistic, and then that doesn't happen for them, like you're going to get exhausted and burnt out eventually. And you're going to be like, I just never can have any success. So that is my thought process.
So sorry.
Huh? No, you're fine.
With that being said, I am not a person who goes on social media. I mean, I'm learning how to operate it, but I feel like people are looking at me like, what is your problem? What are you trying to sell? And I feel like I'm almost pushing them away because I've never posted a reel in my life. I've never done any of this. I was a person who would sit back, once in a while post a picture of me out hiking or doing something I love. And then like that would draw people in. But now I feel like I'm throwing it down their throats, that it's actually pushing more people away.
Mm-hmm.
What do you recommend for that?
Well, like you were saying that you used to like post things that you love. I'm just going to mute you so it doesn't cut in and out. Yep. Or if you could mute yourself, that'd be awesome. So you were talking about how like you post things you love. This is no different. This is something that you love. Truly, you would not have joined the business if this was a product you hated, right? And so for me, it was like when I first started, oh man, I have to like, let's roll back the time. But I have to think about, I was the exact same person. I just posted like my family, those cringe posts that you like come across in your stories where you're like complaining about something, like whatever that might be. If you've never done a reel in your life, like tell people, be honest about that. Say like, I've never done a reel in my life and this is scary, but I want to meet more people. I think your heart has to be in the right place. I know it's really hard that when we're first joining the business, we don't have the success. So we're like, how do we talk about this? But I also think it will be on my YouTube, and I will also put it in the comments of the announcement of the Zoom. So if you go into the Dream Team page, it'll be in the comments of the announcement for today. But I think you got to come from like a good place. First of all, if you're just trying to dupe people, it's going to feel slimy. But if you're anything like me, and my life has been radically changed because of these products, somebody else out there needs to hear this. And I personally do not give a crap about somebody that's going to be rude and negative and doesn't understand. I've had maybe a handful in the full 4 years that I've been in this business where someone's been like weird about it. Other than that, it's been really positive because I come from a place like these products have truly changed my life. If you would see me 4 years ago and now, I'm a totally different person. And I just took people along on that journey. So at first it was like I started out by doing lives talking about different vitamins and how they help your body. I said nothing about the products. And then when I would show a picture of the products and say, this is how I get my vitamins, people are caring about their health now more than ever because of everything that we've experienced for the last 2 years. So if you can talk about whatever way that it's relatable to you. So thinking about who is the typical person that is on your friends list and how this would relate to them. Or again, be completely honest and be like, I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh, this chick is just trying to sell me something. I have done that so many times. Oh, this chick is just trying to sell me something. And then I said, but I don't think you understand what I used to be like before this. Or then let me help you along. The best way to do that, honestly, is going live and talking about it. Like, I know you're probably thinking that this is just one of those things that everyone else is trying to do, but let me share with you what this has actually done for me and how it could do the same for you. And just continually painting that picture over and over and over again, because I cannot tell you, with being in this business for 4 years, the people that I went to high school with, I think of one girl specifically on my team, I will never forget this message that she sent me. I have like goosebumps even thinking about it. So she took a sample, she tried it, and she was like, I just want to tell you thank you, because I feel like I could stand on top of a mountain right now. Like, I was feeling so overwhelmed because I never felt like I could get things done. And now I'm actually like doing my laundry and like doing stuff like that. Those are the things that keep me going. That it's not the person that might potentially think that this is what blah, blah, blah. I always think that the word fear, I'm going to paint a picture. Okay. Thanks for I like when people throw in their personal experiences. That's awesome. Thank you, Shannon. I think here's a breakdown of fear. What fear is: false expectations appearing real. So you're thinking this is what other people are thinking when that might not even be the reality. You don't even know. If you're being spammy about your posts, like, of course you're going to think about that. But if you're being relatable and real to people, honestly, I'm going to go to my Facebook page real quick because I just want to share this post that I shared the other day. And you can go to my page if you want to relate it too. I said, a little honesty. I make income showing up on social media, helping other women feel better with supplements that changed my life. This is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And then I went on to say, because you got to think, how is another person thinking? But in a world of highlight reels, perfect poses, and flawless makeup, it's easy to lose sight of who you really are. I don't want to be like everyone else that has an online business that will paint a perfect life, seem like I've got it all together, and flex my income. I just want to be me. I want to help other women, mothers, actually feel good and be better for their family. I want to help them put more groceries in the fridge, to be able to open up a bill without being afraid, and to be able to buy themselves something for once, to love themselves and feel pride. So if you're that person, I'm your girl. Like, that's just all I said. I addressed, like, this is what I really want to accomplish with this business, because I don't want to step on other people to get myself to be successful. I don't want to have like all the Louis Vuitton bags. Like, if that's your goal and that's your target audience, like, have at it, sister. That's amazing. But you got to understand who's the person I'm trying to reach. If your people are fashion forward and like they appreciate materialistic items, like, you should absolutely lead with that. But the typical person is just looking to do X, Y, and Z. So talk about how you want to help them with that. So I hope that kind of helps. I don't want to go too long with this, but I hope that helped. And feel free to scroll through my pages and see.
This is why we have no questions. You're so succinct.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So I'm going to stop the recording